Okay, we are playing a new version of Niv here. We are using a Widespread Thievery Biotech deck with an updated learn package to use learn cards from the new avatar set. Lesson cards, sorry. So we lose our Widespread on our first turn around, which isn't bad. Rakdos is coming out here, so we're going to shock in, hold up this Lightning Helix. We're going to get a, we don't have blue for the Widespread, which is very unfortunate, but I'm going to decide to get rid of that before that happens. Second Blood Tithe down, second Mutavault. We get blue, which is good, so let's play a Wandering Mind. Do a little dig in here. We get a Widespread Thievery. I'm going to take that. We could have took the Bring to Light here, however, I want to play the Widespread if I'm honest. Alright, they popped a Blood, so I'm surprised the Blood, a Fatal Push didn't come in the future. Oh, we get rewarded anyway, so let's take the Widespread because it's harder for a black deck to remove. Wow, okay, so I put a land under there because this is one of the things I say is 9 times out of 10, it's not profitable to put 2 mana spells under this card unless it's something like one of our payoffs, because ultimately as well, if it gets removed, we're going to struggle with it. Okay, they pop, there's the Fatal Push after making a treasure from the token, so most efficient path. Second Fable the Mirror Breaker. Let's shock a land. We're going to go for the Bring to Light here, and I believe it's time we go for the reload, as always. Reload! Right, I'm going to take the Cram Sessions here just to cast some of these new spells. But ultimately, I think I'm going to hold here because we have one active spell with these 2 treasures. Definitely, Maelstrom Pulse would have been pretty good against this board. However, I think I was just excited to cast these Cram Sessions. Right, they're activating Mutavault, so they're going full aggro here. Okay, they go in, and yeah, okay. What they're trying to do here is they are trying to set up a situation where they're going to use the Blood Tithe Harvester. Yep, there it is. So this would do -4/-4 if this Blood Tithe is allowed to resolve, so I'm going to destroy that before that happens. Good play, but I saw that line. Very good line there. Okay, play land tapped. Do we Verdict here? I think we will. So we'll attack in with Niv, and we'll go for the Verdict, so just to keep their board presence under control. Now, with the board state, we can go for the Cram Sessions, and we'll look at some of our new Avatar lesson cards. I'm going to take the Origin of Metal Bending here to get rid of the Fable. One of the great upgrades Avatar did with a lot of these lessons is they're basically similar to older lessons, but they have literally 1 mana less or instant speed. Like, there's so much good stuff in this. What? Right. Oh, opponent concedes to a Wandering Mind. Oh, they knew that we were close to casting the Valky. So yes, the lessons I'm playing here are pretty fun. We'll go through them as you see them. First one, we put the Origin of Metal Bending in, which is basically a disenchant and an indestructible effect, because disenchant needed more power creep. Was it indestructible or hexproof? I don't even remember. Alright, there's a Biotech, but no green. It's a bit risky, but a Clarion here. Oh, and a Vanishing Verse. Definitely was a very greedy keep here, but we can hold up here for the Vanishing Verse if they go for anything big. So yeah, we'll Vanishing Verse the Fable. We'll hold back here. I'm holding up a Vanishing Verse for the potential of maybe a Shieldred here, or something big. There's a Ritual Chamber. Yeah, Vanishing Versing that kind of felt like a mistake there. I probably should have held back. I'm going to Deafening Clarion here to cut off the ramp. We just need blue mana. Right, there's a Ritual Chamber. Activate a Mutavault. We're going to take 4 here. Again, no blue, but I think we better just throw down a Biotech here, and then we can get blue off the Lander token. They haven't deployed anything, which means the hand is probably just full of removal. Yeah, there's a Shieldred, and we didn't, yeah. Yeah, conceding there because we misplayed. that was an early concession on my part. I think I was getting frustrated with just how ridiculous this was, and ultimately here I decided to keep this hand because I suddenly noticed that he is on his rank up match and I'm in like tier 4 of platinum. Like I literally just got into platinum when the set dropped, so it's like, oh, this is the feeder game where I have to give it to another player. So we take a shared roots, which is basically a rampant growth in standard, which is really crazy. There's an annex, so starting to draw cards. I'm going to have to Vanishing Verse that. I can't let them draw more cards. Okay, they discard with a blood, so they must be flooding out. Fort Seas. And this is where it gets a bit weird, right? So, if you look at this hand, we can't cast Supreme, but we have a ramp spell. Supreme has basically protection from nearly everything they have. Valky could be anything. The Deafening Clarion is the hit here, but they take the Wandering Mind. And they hit us down to 16. I don't know if maybe they're planning to try and like screw us up here. So we'll just go Shared Roots here, grab the missing land we need, then we can Cram Session and grab one of our older lessons. Well, we'll grab True Ancestry here. This is in... I'm playing around this because I looked at their hand and was like, there's no way they don't take Supreme unless, yes, they had another discard effect. But a Duress can't hit Supreme, and all these spells you're discarding, I can jumpstart with Supreme. I still don't understand their decision here. Okay, we're going to play a land, and we're going to have to play around here the potential that they could... Oh, they have a lot of Mutavaults. Alright, they go in. I'm going to trade one of these lands. We'll go down to 4. Alright, so here's a big one. Let's Deafening Clarion, jumpstart the Biotech. We're going to have to go on a different plan here. Swing in, put us up to 9. Cram Session, jumpstart by discarding the Valky. Grab the Pest Summoning. Basically, we've just got to flood the board now, gain life and race, because I think our opponent has gone... Yeah, opponent went for an aggro play here, thinking we couldn't get to 5 mana, which we did with ease. So let's play the Pest Summoning, play the Vanishing Verse, jump starting with the land. And now we're insulated against Edict effects here. My guess is they're holding, I believe it's the Invoke Despair, whatever black spell that's like ridiculous, that it hits every permanent type. Now even if they Mutavault everything here, we can block. Attacking in here, I'm not going to block. We are 9 erase, and it's very clear they're trying to get rid of our board to maybe set up for an Edict. Right, let's use Path of Ancestry here, get back the Biotech. We'll finish them with a Biotech. Crack the Lander token, hit him down to 4, and then swing in with Niv for the win. Good games, sir. Good games. Good start with this deck. We've got another match here with Supreme. This learning biotech weapon game. And the consistency of drawing the one of Valky in this deck is so ridiculous. Alright, we'll Cram Session immediately and grab the Shared Roots. Set up for a bit of ramp in here. There's a Ledger Shredder, interesting. So let's ramp. Sort out our colors here. We could like hardcast Valky very quickly here. I'm seeing this could be Dimir Control, or potentially, I'm thinking it could be Esper Greasefang at this point. Kiora leads, it could be like a... Oh, this is, yeah. So I thought at this point, I wonder what this could be. This could be like a Delver deck, it could be anything. So I was like, let's just pass back. We have 1 copy of Vanishing Verse here. I'm going to get rid of the Kiora. See what they do. Do they have control? We haven't seen white from them yet, so I'm basically sliding off the idea that this could be Grixis. Not Grixis, sorry. There's a Vanishing Verse, so it's Vanishing Verse to Shieldred. We draw another card, so we pass it back. I'm thinking this might be a Dimir Tempo, Dimir Control list, and then I see them hovering around the graveyards, and I'm like, okay, so they must have like Treasure Cruise or something. It never occurred to me until it actually happened that they have Oculus in the deck. Right, here's a Cram Session again. We have 4 mana, so let's look at our options. And I look at this and I'm like, Daily Introduction. Yeah, so basically this is a Thoughtseize. Is it a Thoughtseize? Sorry, I need to read this. It's basically, yeah, I want information from their hand here. A non-land permanent card, sorry. Which works out pretty well for us. I want to just see what they're up to. They Picklock Prankster. They're basically getting rid of whatever spells they can. Mill a ton. And we look at their deck. And I'm like, okay, there's a lot of mill and fill the graveyard effects, but I'm still not seeing what's going on here. Now I'm holding this Banshee Reverse because if this Cure comes down, hits us, and they protect it, we could be in trouble. So instead I decide I'm going to get rid of the... Oh, they draw the Oculus. Yep, this was a misplay on my part. Right, with that in mind, they are tapped out. Oh, but we top deck a Reload. Tyrant Scorn here is perfect because it kills Oculus. Also, Oculus is now can't really kill Niv, so they've got to use their removal on it. They are going to hit us here. We definitely could have done with Bring to Light to find the Supreme Verdict to stay alive. No one left behind. Oh, so they are Dimir Reanimator. We played a budget version of this deck for fun. Discard 2 again. We're down to 10. Right, let's kill the opponent. Play a land. I think we got a Helix to Kiora. We've got to let them loot here. They are down to 1 card, and we do have more advantage here. Okay, so Cosmic Rebirth here can rebuy our Niv. So what I'm going to try and do here is hold back. But they did find another Oculus, so the maths has changed substantially. We could be dead here. They have 1 card in hand, so let's go with Cosmic Rebirth, get back Niv. They're going to manifest here. Bring to Light, though, is perfect, so we need to Bring to Light and grab the Supreme Verdict. Right, that's good. They're going to get to loot here, but they can't counter this unless they have some very tricky blue spell. Let's play a Biotech to build a Biotech board. Shieldred is scary as heck, because that means we're now on a downward trajectory, so Niv here has to find us something. It does not find us something, so we're going to have to use a Cram Session as a life gain spell. And we'll grab... Oh, yeah, okay. My client lagged at that point, I'm going to point out. Basically, it registered a double click, and it was like, yeah, you wanted the Origin of Metal Bending, didn't you? And I was just sitting there like, no game, I didn't. I've got a block here, we've got to keep our life total healthy. We draw. I think our best bet here, we're going to have to go for the Valky. Oh, we could go, yeah, Bring to Light here. I'm tempted by Niv, and I think I'm going to have to take him. Reload. Right, Pulse, definitely get rid of the Shieldred here, because obviously the draining life is going to be a problem. They consider to draw a card. There's the Thoughtseize. Now, that was a huge mistake on their part. This is one of the things I didn't get. There's 2 misplays in this match which are crazy to me. So, they see that we have a double Helix here, right? They have no cards in hand, they manifest Dread. They see that we have 6 damage in our hand. So I'm like, great, I can force the block here with the Oculus. I swing in, they don't block. So they just die, because double Helix. And this isn't hidden information. With their Thoughtseize, they saw the double Helix. So, yeah, Leyline of the Voids come in. As I said before, I'm looking at bringing in Deafening Silence here. We are not playing double spells that much. But you see here, ultimately I decided, actually, no, Deafening Silence really might not be the play here. I bring this back in. So yeah, that was the first misplay I didn't understand with this deck. I was like, why didn't they see that there was a Helix? They had to block. Like, you know, it was weird. I think it's the case they didn't see the line there. I look at this hand and I think, this is pretty insulated against the Thoughtseize, but sadly we've got to get rid of it. We mulligan, and we mulligan, and we mulligan down to 4 to find keepable. And yeah, we're pretty much dead to Thoughtseize here. So they surveil, play land tapped. Opponent goes up to 2 mana and goes for the Thoughtseize, takes out the Supreme. We'll just, sorry, takes out the Wandering Mind. We'll just play a land tapped. Opponent shocks in, passes back. Let's just go for the crime session here. They pick lock, mill 4, get back and no one left behind. I'm looking at my options here and I decide, I think Dai introduction might be the best. They have an Oculus, oh sorry, a Kiora with no one left behind. We do have the Tyrant Scorn, but we can't Tyrant Scorn and Dai introduction here. They Thoughtseize us. Alright. Play a land. We're just going to have to Tyrant Scorn the Kiora here, otherwise they make the 8/8. But they had the Mystical Dispute, so we can call it there. Yeah, fortunately that was a multi-4, so there's not much to say. We did kind of hold our own for a little bit, but ultimately them having way more cards. Alright, I kept this for the Supreme Verdict and the Cram Sessions. The Wandering Mind is also good, and we have all 5 colors. Like I said, this is a... I could mulligan for the Leyline here, but I don't feel that'll be as impactful. They could have also... They didn't see a Leyline in the second game, so maybe they haven't bought in sideboard protection stuff. Let's Cram Sessions, grab the Shared Roots. See what our opponent goes for here. 2 mana. We draw a Leyline, which is interesting. So, just going to try Shared Roots here, see if they want to counter it. No, they just pick lock. Oof, that was a lot of action cards. They get a Thoughtseize here, so we'll take the black. And this is the mistake of this thing that I don't understand. I was like, okay, Thoughtseize, they got to take Leyline, right? Their entire deck is built around casting cards from the graveyard, so... And they take the board wipe, so I'm like, okay, they have a counter spell. There's no way this resolves, but I need to bait this to get the Niv down, so let's go with the Leyline. And it resolves, and I'm just like, what? Why wouldn't you take the graveyard hate piece if you don't have an answer to it? Like, we literally see them digging here, and we'll see in a second, they check the Leyline to be like, oh! Like, I don't know if they didn't realize you could actually cast the Leyline. Maybe they thought it only came in on a standard entry. Yeah, I'm just sat here and I'm like, why wouldn't you take... I'm just like, okay. I'm going to take the Bring to Light here because it's a double activation. What I mean by that is if they counter Niv or Bring to Light, we have another one to follow up, and they just concede. Like, you didn't take the hate piece. Why? Alright, we've got a new deck here. We're playing with the new lesson cards from Avatar. These are the cards that I wanted to try out in ranked. So we're just playing a fun biotech specialist biotech specialist widespread thievery lesson learn package. So it's basically Niv learns bioweaponry, which an interesting take. We're up against mono black here, and we've drew into our Helix, which is great, so we'll take that the minute they try to go to combat here. There's another Gifted Aetherborn. Let's get a biotech down here to just set up for a ramp to get up to 5 mana for the Supreme. They don't know about the 2 lands in our hand, so maybe we'll let it go. As I said, it's also a good bait for removal here. Alright, we are drawing all of the lands in existence, so we'll just hold back again. 1-3 is a good blocker, well, except against a Death Touch lifelinker, so we'll keep taking it here. Let's cycle here, because we've got our 5 lands, we don't need to worry about grabbing anything else. Let's get Supreme down. One of the reasons I'm keeping the biotech around is its insulation, because it gives us protection from edict effects, such as Liliana's or the Invoke Despairs. And our opponent concedes to a unkillable Supreme. Supreme has been going up an up in my estimation here. I'm just gonna literally just sitting here going, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I go down one biotech. I go down, sorry, one widespread. So widespread is a no cast on 3 basically. We get 2 because we took 1 out. Oh my god, excuse me. Yeah, it's basically like the shuffler goes, you took 1 of these out, but these are rares. You could get rares. Get rares. I'm like, we don't need rares. We need actual spells. So we can't cast anything in our hand currently. They take the widespread, and I think that's purely from a, we don't know what this is, so let's see what happens. Well, let's cram sessions. We're going to grab the pest summoning. Oh, right, yeah, this was literally the last day before I changed it. So I'll put this video at the end, because it did have fun interaction here. This was me trying to prove a point here. There's an annex. We'll play a land. We'll get the widespread thievery down. We could just fold to a what you call it? Oh, the what's the name of it? The Invoke Despair. Very probable that they have that. Oh no, they just open the ritual chamber to drain us for 2. So I think our best bet here is to go for Wandering Mind to dig for an answer. We find a Vanishing Verse. We will pass back. We've got to insulate against losing double life here with the Unstoppable Slasher. So unfortunately, I think our best bet here is we're going to have to Lightning Helix, make a treasure, stop the Unstoppable Slasher for a turn, and then take 6. But before we move to the draw step here, yep, there's the Invoke Despair. We've just got a Vanishing Verse, make a treasure. This is such a stupid card. They Fatal Push here to gain more draw. Why does this card draw? Why does every card that's now designed to go into every commander deck just go, oh, you can draw a card. Oh, you can get this. Oh, you can get everything. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of color ply breaks. And like I said, Invoke Despair hitting it just is not what I'm going to sound very petty when I say this. It's not my choice, if that makes sense. We're just going to get another basic here. Alright, so we got a Vanishing Verse, kill everything, use the Wandering Mind here to dig and find an answer, Bring to Light's a good count. We are on 5 life here, but clinging on by a thread. We could also just die to another Invoke Despair, because of course it says, this happens, this happens. They play a Strategic Betrayal to stop us. So, you know what? I laughed that we drew a Cosmic Rebirth literally the second after we get our option. So we're going to just get Valky here. And we're going to exile that Gifted Aetherborn because it's a lifelinker and I want it. Graveyard Trespasser. They take their own creatures out to try and drain us here. Another Gifted Aetherborn. And a Blade of the Oni. Alright, let's plus Tybalt. Play land. Let's go Biotech. Biotech. And then we can Lightning Helix the Blade of the Oni. And then hold back here. Another Blade of the Oni. They reconfigure onto the graveyard and Fatal Push here. And then they attack us, putting us down to 1 here. They should have probably gone after the Tybalt here. Right, so we play a land, look at my options, and I decide I'm going to cast your Gifted Aetherborn, Cram Session to gain up to 5 life, Contaminate Breach, kill your thing, then we can minus Tybalt, and they concede. Like, so close, but good fight, good fight.